Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This is the preview for Manchester United's game against Tottenham Hotspur. Now, it was a huge game. We've got some big news updates surrounding team. And yeah, we'll be previewing the game against Tottenham. Now, if you look at this game, is a huge game. Manchester United need to win to continue that top four chase if it's still on. And Spurs needs to win, continue their top four chase. Now, Spurs, obviously we give team news for both teams, but Spurs are without some huge players, and they are sitting, I believe, 5th in the table now. If you look at Manchester United's past few games, yes, Wigan, we should have beat them 3-4-0 with the chances that we created, but other than that, the Forest game was pretty poor before, and some of our games this season has not been great. Now, Spurs, regardless of what team they have available, is a huge game. The assets that they have, the players that they have, is a huge problem for Manchester United. So let's get into the team news for both teams now. I'll start with Tottenham Hotspur. They have no Son, no Sarr, no Bissouma, no Dave Scarlett, no Giovanni Lo Celso, and no Ben Davies. They're the players who seem to be out. So Son, huge miss for them. Obviously, he's at the Asia Cup of Nations with South Korea, I believe. So yeah, it's a must-win game for both teams. It's a huge opportunity for Erik ten Hag to bounce back. And going back to Spurs quickly, them being without Yves Bissouma, Pape Sarr, is a huge benefit for Manchester United. Now, into the Manchester United news. Martinez and Casemiro are expected to be in the squad. Don't think they start. They might come on towards the end of the game. Anthony, Ahmad, Eriksen will all return, so that's a huge boost. If you remember the game where we last played Spurs away early in the season, where we did end up losing 2-0, I think we played really well. Man was influential in that midfield, and we did create a lot of chances. Rashford playing that number 9 role. I rewatched the game, or the highlights, sorry, a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of days ago, sorry, and we did look really calm and composed. We created a lot of chances. We were good playing out from the back, and it was just 2 poor goals conceded, not tracking midfield runners, which is a huge problem for us, and that's something that we probably need to work on in a game like this. Now, Spurs, they're still going to have some huge players out there. I think I'll talk about their threats later on, but it's a huge game. They are a fantastic team. They play a really high line, and that could be something Manchester United look to exploit. I mean, the players like Rashford, Højlund and Garnacho have a lot of pace, and they could be looking to utilise that. I mean, Spurs as well, they're really good in transition, they're really good on the counter-attack, and both full-backs are really important to them, as well as their attacking players. Now, obviously, they're missing also James Maddison, who's been out for a long time. So yeah, but for Manchester United, our threats are, I think, as I said, we are good in transition. We do sometimes struggle to create chances, but if we can find a way to create chances, I think we'll be really solid and compact. And if we find a way to get chances, I'm sure Højlund will score goals. We've seen he had 3-4 huge chances against Wigan. And yes, Wigan are not as good as Spurs, but it shows that we can create chances. And that's something that we need to do ASAP, because we need to get our players involved. And yeah, we just need to find a formation and a system of play that will help Erik ten Hag great. And that will suit us going forward, because we have struggled to find momentum recently. But in this Spurs game, as I said, another opportunity to get 3 points. As I said, the high line could be something Manchester United look to exploit. They do have a really good press to Spurs, so Manchester United, with the players that we have, we just can't afford to be poor at the back now. Onana will probably start this game, but I'll get into the team news in a little while. But yeah, just quickly to conclude, it's going to be a really fast, energetic game. I mean, these games are normally high scoring. I mean, you look at the 6-1 a few seasons ago, that was the result at Old Trafford. So they haven't got the same player, Spurs, but they're still a huge threat, and they are a huge concern to Manchester United. So we need to be careful of what they can do and the threats that they oppose. Now, talking about Manchester United, what I think we can use, I think Kobbie Mainoo in midfield. Now, there was rumours about him potentially being dropped, with obviously Casemiro coming back. For me, I think Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro would work as a really good duo, but we'll talk about that in another video. But in this game, don't think Casemiro is fit enough to start, probably be on the bench. I would go Kobbie Mainoo, as he's a huge threat at only 17, 18 years of age, or even might be 19, and he's really composed for a young player. yeah, he can do that midfield role absolutely fantastically, and he's looked like he's been doing it for a long time. I think he's a great player in there, composed as well, looked really good against Wigan, a physical player as well. A huge threat, as I said. Rashford, he's slowly starting to find form. I think he was decent. Yes, it was against Wigan, but he's still showing progression. And I think that front three is a huge. That front three has huge potential about it. Højlund, Rashford, or Højlund and Garnacho, particularly two very young players, and Rashford, obviously experienced player who's getting to his prime years, and hopefully he can have some impact on us as well. But yeah, it's a huge. So let's get into the predicted team. I think Andre Onana will start in goal. I think it'd be obviously not going to AFCON quite yet. He'll have an impact in this game, and he is scared of probably losing this spot, which is a bit embarrassing. But yeah, he will start this game. At right back will be Diego Dalot. Dalot, for me, he's been quite good. Now Ten Hag might look to go with Wan-Bissaka, but hopefully I think Shaw will be back. Centre back, for me, you got to stick with Evans and Varane. I think they've been doing well recently. At left back, you go Luke Shaw if he's fit. If not, Dalot will slot in and Wan-Bissaka will go to right back. Into midfield, as I said, Kobbie Mainoo at the 6. He's looked really calm, composed and mature for such a young player. You go Eriksen next to him, another experienced player who knows that technical ability might be so important for us to use in a game like this. And obviously at top, Bruno Fernandes. And then up front, you go with Rasmus Højlund. On the right, Alejandro Garnacho. And on the left, Marcus Rashford. Now, that's the front three. That has a lot of potential for me, can score goals. And I'm going to go for a Manchester United win. I don't know what the score will be, but hopefully we can get the win. We need to stop out the threats of Kulusevski, Richarlison,